Welcome to the First Look seminar. And as hot as it is, Gino, out in Southern California, it's also getting hot because it's time for the Derby. We're almost there. Everybody, the prep races are coming. People are getting excited. A lot going on this weekend at Santa Anita and all across the country, my friend.
It is a fun time of year because basically from now for the next 4 weeks, we're going to get all the big Kentucky Derby prep races and Kentucky Oaks prep races from around the country. This weekend, it starts Fairgrounds and Turfway. Then next weekend, we'll have Gulfstream and Oaklawn join the party with the Florida Derby and the Arkansas Derby and their big days. Then a couple weeks, Santa Anita tags in. Santa Anita gets to join with the Santa Anita Derby. It'll be Keeneland opening up in just a couple of weeks. They'll have the Bluegrass, and the Wood Memorial will also be on that day. So all of the big tracks running have all of their biggest days coming up in the next few weeks. We're really pumped for it. But our focus on this show is going to be on that late pick 5 for tomorrow at Santa Anita for Saturday. And when we get into that sequence, we'll also help you some of the races that are in like the Sunset 6 and the Coast to Coast pick 5 and those great wagers that we love with no CAW wagering. So Chappie, it's hot, but I think there's some fried chicken tomorrow trackside, the smorgasbord out there, right? I believe.
Fried chicken trackside, and it will be a little toasty, but a little bit cooler than today. So we're getting better. We're ready to roll. And of course, the man who covers all, like you said, all those non-CAW low takeout, the man of the hour, Sure Shot Scatoni. What's happening, Frank?
Well, you talk about hot. I am not. I have not been hot. I lost another photo in the nightcap today. I lost one on Sunday for thousands. Last time I was on the show, I gave out the mortal lock of the century, and the horse never looked like a winner. But I was right about one thing. Remember the Dean Peterson horse? One moment, I did bet Chappie. I bet you. I said that horse is going to be 7-5, and you said 2-1.
You did. You did.
Yep.
The caveat was, I said, if that horse isn't the heavy favorite, I'm going to streak and run through the chandelier room. And Chappie said, "There's no way you're doing that." But
I was actually.
I'm happy because I won.
And I was glad I lost. Let me tell you, Frank.
Chappie was definitely happy for that. I was going to say.
Chappie took a dive. He's like, "I'm definitely taking the over. Definitely."
It was very close at the end, and I threw a little extra money on it myself.
Just to make sure. I figured.
It cost me a dime, but I don't even care. So.
Hey.
Yeah, well, your eyes are thanking you because once you see this, that's it. You're done.
Yeah. Speaking of not done, joining us now, we just got started. Seminar Skips joining the parade. What's happening, my friend?
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good. We're just chatting, yapping. We were talking about Frank almost streaking. I mean, we're off to a rousing start. So thank God for that.
I love it. Sorry I was late.
That's all right, buddy. You got things to do. We get it. So let's get right to it, Gino. We are, of course, talking about the late pick 5 at Santa Anita tomorrow, which starts in race 5. That's a mile on the turf, a starter allowance. What are your thoughts here, Gino?
So this race is a little tricky because I think it's very important in how you're going to approach the pick 5 sequence and how you want to formulate your tickets. I thought it's a small field. So it's a field of 6. So you don't want to go very deep in here. But what's difficult is it looks like there are 4 contenders of the 6 horses. So you have to figure out what do you want to do, right? Because if you start out going 4 out of 6, and none of them are going to be above 5-1, they're all going to be shortish prices, not separated by a lot. So that's not a smart wagering strategy to come right out of the bat and go, let's go 4 deep in a field of 6 where we're not even going to have a chance for a long shot. I think you have to kind of take a stance here and maybe pick 2 of the 4. If you want to do that, right? Because they're all going to be sort of in that same range. If you feel stronger than me about one of these horses and you want a single, like more power to you. I don't feel quite as strong. The horses that I want to use, the 2, the Real Silver Lining, or There's a Silver Lining. This horse has only been on turf once. And it was just, I think, a race that you can just put a line through. Just was wide, like never really got into it, just never looked comfortable. And there was only one time. I think it's a small sample size. It's really hard to determine if a horse does or does not like something based off of one. Horse's Dam was a 10-time winner on the turf. And if we're just looking at her form on the dirt, if she just transfers over her form from the dirt by about like 80, 85%, she's probably better than most of this field. And if she's any better on the grass, I think there's that upside built in that she might be even a better horse on the grass based on the breeding. So I'm going to give the 2 a look. She can sit close. She can be forward. She's definitely in the mix for me. Like the one, She's Splendid. Would she shock me? Not at all. But I feel like I've seen her. I kind of know who she is at this point. I'd rather go for a horse like the 6 Catalina Cocktail. You know, I think she'll get dismissed a bit because she's coming in from Turf Paradise, and on paper, people will look. But those races are not bad. And all of her 5 grass races, she's run well in 4 of them. The only time she didn't, she was against much tougher at Del Mar, and she was just overmatched there. So I think the 2 can sit off, will be forwardly placed. Catalina Cocktail will be the other one. I'm going to try to get out of this race with 2 and 6. 1 and 5, I figure, would be the other horses that everybody else uses. I'm just going to try to go 2-6 and see if I can at least have more coverage the rest of the way.
2-6 there for Gino. What do you think there, Sure Shot?
I had a very hard time with this race, and Gino, he said it best. Like, there were 4 or 5 contenders in this race, but you really don't want to use all of them to start your pick 5. Kind of want to plant a flag. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but there is a horse I just want to mention because of all the contenders, the logical ones, they'll kind of look the same. They're running the same speed figures, but the number 3 Moonlit Courage is a little interesting and sneaky to me. Not usually my kind of play. I don't like horses who don't run well in conditional claimers, but I'm going to forgive that last race. Badia doesn't claim a lot of horses. He's an old school Northern California guy. A lot of horses with Ron Charles. He is a very good trainer. For him to dip in and take this horse, he knew what the condition book was. He knew there was a starter 16 coming up, and he found his horse. The other thing about that is the turf course has not, I won't say it's speed favoring, but it's been kind to speed. Speed isn't backing up as much as it does at Del Mar or other places. I could see that Jaramillo's riding great. Why doesn't this horse just go to the lead and hope for the best? These aren't a bunch of strong finishers in here.
Nope.
So
no
that's
monsters.
A sneaky one. But I could really, if I had to use another one, I would probably use number 5, Thirsty Trickster, just because, Mullins is doing everything right. He had that horse today, won by Daylight. Look, if Mullins is putting this horse in this race, this horse can win. So I don't know what I'm doing yet. I think I'm going to let the tote give me a lot of clues, but I am absolutely using number 3, Moonlit Courage, as my separator horse to maybe single that horse on one ticket. And if I get lucky, then I got plenty of options later.
All right, so big push there for Moonlit Courage. Kamira out of town. Jaramillo has been on fire this meet. Jumps aboard. Skipper, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was thinking the same as Gino. The 2, there's a silver lining. Likes to win. Hasn't won, but like Gino said, the mom was a 10-time winner.
You getting phone
on
calls
the grass. Sorry about that. Anyways, so the 2 is going to be on the ticket. I like the 6. I know this horse is coming in from Turf Paradise, but the Sadler takes over. Hector Barrios jumps aboard. I like the workout on the 28th. That last race, was not bad. This horse was pinned down inside, kind of getting checked a little bit, or not a lot of room, and dove to the inside, turning for home. And this horse finished really nicely. I think that horse will get a great trip in here. I love that Hector Barrios jumps aboard. I might have to put the 3 because a Sure Shot there. So I'm going to go 2-3-6. I'm not going to leave this horse out. I could see Jaramillo putting this horse on the lead, and he's been riding great. So maybe that horse gets a shot to go wire to wire. So I'll go 2-3-6. The 6 is real sneaky to me. I might single the 6 on one ticket.
Well, Sure Shot and likes to zig when they zag, and he's a zigzagger. So I was basically I had everybody but the 4, right? So I'm gonna zag when everybody zigs, or the other way around. So I just like doing the hand movements, I think. But I'm actually going to single
You go,
the two.
I go.
here.
You go, I
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I was considering going 2 deep, 2-6. Then I was using the 5, and then we were sure shots talk about the damn 3. So now I'm going to single the 2. The 2 likes to win races. Should sit off the pace, get a good trip. Like Gino said, there's a ton of turf pedigree in the family, and
because the 5 hasn't been on the grass either, right? Like that's the thing too.
Right.
The 5, and they both probably will be forward. The difference that I put was that the 2 has at least been long and is a little more of a winner, like really likes to win races. So that's kind of how I separated those 2. But I feel like the 5 will try to go and the 2 can lay just off, like you were saying.
Yeah. So I'm a zigger when you guys are zagging, or the other something like that.
Yeah.
And your favorite candy is a Zagnut bar.
Yeah. I was going to say, smoke them if you got them.
Yeah. That's right. All right. We've gone off the rails here, 30 seconds in, but let's move on to race 6. And Skipper's back on another phone call. That's okay.
Yeah.
Frankie, we're going 6 furlongs here. Calbreds, maiden 50s, field of 7. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, again, I thought this was another tricky race where several of these could win. There's nothing wrong with number 2, Lindy's Dream, but 9-5. This horse was just 29-1. Last time, granted, it was against maiden special weights, but 2 back at the Calbred 50 level, the horse was 35-1 and really didn't do much running. So I'm not over the moon on this horse. I think the 1 Surprise Dioro has a very, very interesting look. Broke slowly from the rail last time in her debut against much better animals. She had to have learned something from that race. Palmer drops her in for a tag. Tiago rides back. Put this horse in the race. I guarantee you she has more speed than she showed last time because she broke 7th of 8th. Got to go from the rail. Let them come get you. And then the other horse that I'm considering is number 3, Run on Showed running spots in those 2 races, right? Those are tougher races on turf. Sean McCarthy, he's got old school tendencies, right? I mean, he doesn't have them fully cranked. It's the kind of guy who races them into shape, kind of sees what's under the hood, drops this horse in class. This is the money run. I mean, she is my top pick in the race. Those turf races are much tougher than anything any of these other horses have faced. And I also think she's going to trip out. Perfect spot for her on the drop. If I can get 6-1 on her, I would love that.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, right? For you, it's easy as 1, 2, 3 for Sure Shot.
Do re mi.
I'm on the fence about using the 2 or not. I'm not really sure because I don't think she's going to offer any value. And I don't think she's materially better than, some of the other droppers in here.
Because what makes it so difficult, what you're hitting at too, is there's really one horse in this race who has run a decent race, and that horse is 0 for 11. Nobody else has actually even run a good race. Everyone else we're projecting, and I'm talking about Tina's Princess, but like her last few races, she's been trounced. She hasn't been close. But if you go back to last year in September, she at least had a race where she was beat by a neck. Nobody else in here has anything like that. We're like, as you said, the horse who's going to be a short price, the 2 was just beat by 8 lengths. And the 2 was already at this level and beat by 10 lengths in the debut. So it wasn't even like the 3 at least that you were getting to Run on has faced better, has run in spots in those races. That last race on February 15th, this horse had a better start than it looks like on paper. It was actually just behind the leaders in the 2 path, but 4 of these horses lined up kind of in the second tier, and she took back. So all of a sudden, instead of being just behind the leader, it looks like she's like 3+ lengths behind, but she was a lot closer than that early on. If you look at her workouts too, the March 14th work, she wasn't asked for much. She worked outside the mate. She was slightly second best, but it wasn't bad. Like you could just tell she was traveling okay. And I think pretty good for a level like this. Dam was 2 for 2 on the dirt. You get the drop in class. 5 of her, she had 5 winning dirt siblings. So her whole family was used to winning on the dirt. 4 of them were multiple winners on the dirt. It's a lot of little things for a horse in a Calbred maiden 50. Right. There's like small little angles for her. So I think She makes a whole lot of sense. The one that I want to use along with the 3 is the 7, who has one race.
Yeah.
This horse debuted from the rail, stepped slow, shot up from the inside. One of the toughest trips in all of racing, where you have a bad break in your career debut from the rail, push all the way up, was battling in a 3-horse battle for the lead in that race. The 2 horses that she was battling with faded back to 5th and 6th. Those 2 horses both won their next starts.
Wow.
Which was interesting.
That's
Horse
really
named
good, yeah.
Stars Hollow, who actually came back and won at Los Al going 1,000 yards. And it's funny, people might use that as a negative. In this case, to me, it's kind of a positive because it actually shows how fast they were going. That a horse went over to Los Al after and was still fast enough to win over there. Then the other horse, Love Lock, dropped down at one and maiden 20. So the 2 horses she was battling with were really quick. She had a brutal trip. She goes from the inside all the way to the outside now. Could have a much different trip where she can get out of the gate, look over, see what's happening. They can be a little more patient with her. Yakteen is very good with first-time starters, second-time starters, just young horses in general, kind of flies under the radar all the time too. And the jockey-trainer combo, they've won with 3 of 13 together, 8 top 3 finishes. Again, just a lot of little things to like about a horse who I think is going to be a really good price. 3 and 7 for me are horses who I'm going to try to, and I'd love to be able to just use those 2 in a race like this, knowing if I got through, I had a pretty nice price either way.
All right, so a lot of prices so far, and so far, Skipper, the favorite who's 9 to 5. Gino was just out till the wee hours in Vegas with one Dave Dreamweaver, and as they would say, chuck him out. So, are you going to use the deuce here, or are you chucking as well, Skip?
I'm chucking him out. I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, 7. The only one that they didn't mention was the 5.
Yeah.
This is the unknown. Andy Mathis has good numbers first time out. It does have a little spotty workout pattern. You know, it missing a work from January 18th till February 5th. But I did watch one of the works. I believe it was the one on the 2nd, and it didn't work that bad. It showed some speed. Jaramillo's jumping aboard. Legacy Ranch, they like to fire first time out. They do very well. I'm going to go 1, 3, 5, 7. I don't need to mention why the 3, why the 1, or why the 7, because Sure Shot and Gino mentioned all the things that I was thinking. So 1, 3, 5, 7 for me.
I'd prefer, if they're close in price, I'd absolutely prefer Metler over Lindy's Dream too. Like if you're looking to use one of the shorter prices in here, I think the unknown of the first-time starter in a race like this where we're not scared of anybody,
Right.
like Metler doesn't have to be that good. And Metler was quick, as Skip mentioned, in the morning. The barn has done really well the last couple of years. I think they're 15% the last 2 years with first-time starters, so super capable of winning. Dam was a 4-time winner, was multiple stakes placed as a Calbred, and this is her first full. So, yeah, I actually prefer her of the short prices to the 2 if you're looking to use one more.
Well, since I zigged and you guys zagged, I am gonna go 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 just in case, because if I get the single home, then I can afford to zag when you zig. So I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But
he's had a few zigzags. That's how you know he's going back.
What's Gonzaga's nickname? They're the Zags.
Zags.
Right,
See,
yeah.
I have to root for them now in the tournament. Are they in the tournament still?
They won last night.
Yeah, see, I knew that. I'm zagging with Gonzaga, and I don't even know where I'm at anymore. Skip, race 7.
You're busy from zigging and zagging.
I'm completely lost. There's only coffee in here, not booze. I promise.
It's California. It's all legal out there for Chappie. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. No. I'm all good. Skipper, race 7, 6.5 furlongs down the hill. The Irish O'Brien. Another field of 6. What are your thoughts?
You know, when I first looked at the race, I'm thinking, okay, Grand Stam's Fly is on the rail. I'm going to try to beat it. But then I looked who it was running against, and I just don't think they could beat her.
Yeah.
Ran really good on the 28th, the Buena Vista Grade 2. Thought Process and Vibes, good horses. Thought Process is a really, really nice horse of Phil D'Amato's. Horse ran good. It's the third start off the little break there, which is often the horse's best. It came back a nice, slow 51 flat on the March 14th. Loves the downhill turf course. I don't like the inside draw. I just think she's better than these. You know, I'm not going to try to get cute and try to find somebody else. I think Grand Slam Smile wins this race. You know, it's 6-5, no secrets, but that's what I'm going to do.
All right. We always say about the horse for course down that hill, Gino. Skippy, Single, and Grand Slam Smile. You heading in a different direction?
Gosh, she's really hard not to feel that way about too. Like it looks like such a great spot for her. They took a shot last time against Tougher. She ran really well. She set the pace. She ran her race. She just ran into a couple horses that are a little bit better than her against Open Company and Going a Mile. Now she cuts back to 6.5. Third start of the form cycle. She moves back in with Cowbreds. Like all of these things that are so positive in her favor. And even the way the race shapes up, it's probably the 3 Young Love that goes, and she probably sits right behind. And it's not a big field, so I'm not really worried about the rail draw quite as much, because if it was a field of 8 or 10 and there were a few other speed horses to her outside, then I would worry if she got stuck or shuffled back. It's only a field of 5, and she's at least the second fastest in here. So she's so hard to look past. I tried so hard. I mean, you look Young Love and Take Another Card. To me, those would be the next 2, because if I think she gets beat, it would be that Young Love maybe gets a length on her and she gets a little patient trying to sit behind and they just kind of ride her a little too confidently. Or the flip side, maybe she tries to go early because she thinks they're just better than this field and Young Love makes her work. And then maybe it's Take Another Card that would capitalize. But I don't think they're going to be big enough prices for me to even want to use them in the spot. Yeah. Like that's the concern. I would want them to be like 8-1, 10-1-ish if you're trying to beat a heavy favorite like this. And I think I'm going to swallow the chalk and move along.
All right. So 2 chalk singles, and I can tell Scatoni's not going this way. I could just see by the look on his face.
You're zigging and zagging all over the place. You're completely wrong. I'm zigging. I'm staying with Skip and Gino. Skip, I think you said it best. They're just not good enough to beat her. I mean, she's just a better horse. Even at the rail, I hate betting horses at the rail down the hill. It's not advantageous. I mean, little fan appreciation. Grand Slam Smile, 5-year-old mare, $852,000 earner. Look at her record, lifetime record, 18 starts. 10 wins, 6 places, 2/3. She's never been off the board. I mean, what a quality animal. She's beaten these horses already. I wanted to look at Prancing Through Paris because now she's on the outside. Maybe she could turn the tables, but Skip said it best. I don't think they're good enough. I just don't. And the only other thing I want to mention is that last race, Thought Process is a monster. She's a little red feather horse who had such quality as a younger horse and is now back and Thought Process ran a huge race. And look, Grand Slam Smile was right there. I mean, she ended up finishing 3rd after doing all the heavy lifting up front. So I wish I could even try and make a case for another horse, but I just can't. So I'm zigging when these guys are zigging.
Okay. Now we're going to really make it. No, we're not. I'm zagging. I'm kind of zigzagging. So I'm going to go 2 deep because I can afford it. I already singled. I'm going to go 1-5. I just think Prancing Through Paris, the 2 bad efforts down the hill were both when she was drawn inside. Now she's drawn in outside. Maybe there's a case where the 1 and the 3 hook up and the 5 gets the perfect trip and I beat a 2-5 shot. So, because I zagged earlier, I could zigzag now. Go Zags.
Line them all up. Spokane, Washington. Chappie, got to get that Gonzaga shirt out, right? Where's your jersey?
Oh, yeah. No, I might move. If I hit this tomorrow, I'm moving to Spokane.
There we go.
I didn't even know they were from Spokane till a minute ago, but I'm moving there. All right. I think we're back to Gino, right? For race 8. Let's go 6 furlongs on the main here, Gino. Another field of 6. What are your thoughts?
So I'm singled to the chalk in race number 7, where I wish I could get around Grand Slam Smile, but I can't. This race, I'm going to do the opposite, and I'm going to chuck out the 6, Bagnick, who's taken a big drop down in class. Just is a big drop for a horse who's not been in the best of form as of late. Even that last start against Cornucopian, like, showed some speed there and faded. I think just won for the last 16 overall. And then the last 4 races was beat 7+ lengths in each. Absolutely could win, but just the way the pick 5 shapes up, I'm already single to a short price. The first leg of the sequence, I'm going to have a couple horses that are going to be in the shortish price range. This race, I'm going against the outside runner. So the other horses who I thought were interesting, Hawker to me is the horse to beat. I probably play a ticket where I single Hawker and can really get some separation in others. Just a much better spot after facing optional 50 first level allowance company last time out, and was in between horses early, got shifted back to 6th, and then was just never involved. I think you put a line right through that. And look, 2 starts back at Del Mar, beating Hard to Figure by 5+ lengths that day. Hawker has enough speed to go, but I think he'll actually get a little bit of an off-the-pace trip in here. I think he can sit off a little bit in here, and that'll work out really well for him because there's a couple horses that I think are just naturally a little bit quicker. So Hawker in the mix for me for sure. I do think Code Duello is a win, likes to win races and fits really well and just really good in and around this level. I'm going to include the 1 too, Bellotti. I can see a version of this race where Bellotti just takes back from the inside, and then you've got Code Duello going. Hawker is a little forward. Hard to Figure goes. Mabagnic goes. And then all of a sudden, Bellotti and Chasing Money, they might be the 2 horses closing. I feel like a lot of people could look to Chasing Money, but Bellotti's actually run in, I think, some tougher races, and is a horse who I could actually really see performing well at a big price in here. So I will likely go 1, 3, and 4 in this race, trying to beat the outside horse.
1, 3, 4, chucking out once again. Dave Weaver's rubbing off on him since that Vegas trip. And now, Sure Shot, did you love Code Duello the last time, or
I did. Code Duello. I don't know if it was Code Duello on the show, but it was another flawless racing. It was Disco Tribute, who we talked about a couple of weeks ago. But I do love Code Duello.
The big problem that Code Duello had, Frank, not to interrupt, was that he went against Doncic last time out. And right now, you don't want to be going against Doncic in any way, shape, or form. They haven't lost in 3 weeks. Everybody's starting to warm up to the Lakers now. He scored 60 last night. So, I mean, if you're facing Doncic, if you see Doncic in the running lines, you're in some serious trouble.
There's a reason why you wore that shirt today. You had this plan, I love it.
I'm feeling it.
He's playing a Doncic promo. No, I love Code Duello. Flawless Racing, my good friend Jerry Wesselow. They campaigned Brando the bartender. They had Disco Tribute run a monster race the other day at a huge price. Just got beat by a couple of better horses. I love Code Duello. Sharp, fast, likes to win races. My big concern is the race shape. Exactly what Gino said. There is a lot of heat in here. And because of that, that gives Delasse a 1-2 punch. Like Gino mentioned, number 1, Bellotti. Strong closer in a race with a lot of speed. Has been running consistently against good horses. I know the horse hasn't won in a long time. But, if you go back to the last time the horse ran at this level at Los Al, December 14th, was right there at the end, but it was 7 furlongs, just maybe a little bit too far for the horse. I think the race sets up perfectly. I'm not talking against Hawker because I think Hawker is a very, very likely winner. My concern with Hawker is I think Andy Mathis is an awesome trainer. He's terrific. I've made a lot of money betting his horses, but his barn is a little cold right now. I have backed a couple of his really live-looking horses this meet, and they didn't just lose, but they were never in the race. So, everything's in cycles, right? You run through conditions, so your horses are overmatched. Maybe there's a bug in the barn. Maybe he's, waiting for the next meet. I don't know. Like I said, though, Mathis is a terrific trainer, and he will turn it around eventually. But I wanted to take on Hawker. I want to take on the 5 Hard to Figure. Can't be conditional claimers. I mean, this is a salty group. I'm not sure where that 3-1 line came from, but maybe because of JJ. And to Gino's point, Bagnick, I mean, if Mbagnick is Mbagnick, he probably wins by 10, but he could also lose by 10. Because Sadler's giving a stakes quality horse away for 32. I mean, I know the horse is 70 years old, but Sadler doesn't give anything out. I mean, come on. So I thought this was a good race to take on the logicals. Coduello, if he can win the battle and the war, but if not, Bilotti, I mean, looks really good to me at 8-1, just from a race shape perspective.
Yep. All right, a couple pushes here for Bilotti there, Skipper. What are your thoughts here?
Originally I wanted to hit the all button because I don't know what to do in here. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take out a couple horses, and the two that I'm going to take out are Hawker and Hard to Figure. Hard to Figure, it's coming off a break, not a big win machine, 2 for 22. Hawker, listen, good horse. I think Andy Mathis is a great trainer, but his barn is ice cold. And when they go ice cold, I jump off because, you get hot, you ride the barn. The prime example is a 2, Chasing Money. Librado Baraccio, look, 44%. Whatever he runs, I'm using. I don't care. I'm not even looking at it. 10-1, 2-1, I'm using that horse. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to use the 6. And I don't really want to, but I'm going to. I don't want this horse to beat me if I catch something early that's a little bit of a price, and I like a little bit of a price in the last race. So I'm going to use the 6, just getting off the rail. That last race against Cornucopian, it should get a Dreamy George trip on the way outside. Whether it's good enough, whether they're giving up on the horse, I don't know. It looks like it dropping in for 32, but I'm not going to let it beat me. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 6 in here and try to get alive to a couple horses in the last.
All right, I'm hitting the all button here. I got a little room to play with, kids, so I'm zigging and zagging. But before we move on, Gino, you're the singer of this group. If you had a song to sing for Bilotti, what would it be?
Ooh.
Bilotti.
Oh,
It's funny because you could see that Chappie's excited to have the computer back after the last few weeks, right?
I missed you guys.
He was muzzled
fired
for
up.
about a month or
I
5 weeks or so.
shot out of a cannon.
And now he's just firing. He's got material from the last few weeks that he's got written down. Like he's got some jokes writers and everything. I love this version of Chappie.
I'm excited. You tell? My God, I missed you guys. And probably everybody's going to send in and say, keep him back off the show. But I got a lot to say here. All right, Frankie, we're finishing off race 9. We love the San Luis Rey. Going 1.5 miles on the turf. A good field of 8 here. What are your thoughts to finish it off here?
Yeah, a really good field. I have a lot of respect for Gold Phoenix. What a terrific horse. I can't say anything bad about the horse. I know Phil has a plan. I thought the horse was a little flat in that comeback race. I mean, I'm not going to hold it against the horse, but I didn't see enough in there to make me think that even if the horse moved forward, Mondego and Truly Quality just looked better to me in that race. Now, maybe this was the target, second off the bench. But as good as Gold Phoenix is, and he always looks like a horse who can run all day, his record at this distance is not good. It's 0 for 5, and that concerns me a little bit. And if he is going to be 7-5, I think I want to try and take a stand against the horse. If the horse wins, I'll tip my cap. Little Red Feather, congratulations. My top pick in here is Truly Quality. I mean, I think Jonathan Thomas is terrific. When he started sending out horses to Santa Anita in the West Coast a couple of years ago, I was thrilled because he is a quality horseman. He has got some really nice turf runners. And I just thought Truly Quality ran a really good race last time, got going way too late, finished up in ridiculously fast time. I mean, 23 flat. That's amazing. And then, I think the jock change, this is no knock against Mike Smith, but I think maybe he was a little too patient in that ride. Fresu is terrific on any surface, but he is a terrific turf jock. And look at his stats with D'Amato, 63%. I know it's only 8, it's a small sample size, but I mean, I like those percentages. And then I will give Mondego another look. I've always liked this horse. I didn't back the horse last time because I wasn't sure if the horse had the quality to beat, a horse like Truly Quality or Gold Phoenix. But he showed up. He absolutely showed up.
Truly.
Michael McCarthy is one of the best on the circuit at getting bottom in his horses. Like he could train me to run a marathon. I mean, that's like he's got stamina. And this horse is just good right now. I mean, that San Gabriel was good even in defeat. And then the San Marcos I thought was fantastic. So I think those are the two I'm going to use. And if Gold Phoenix wins, the old boy, I'll salute. I'll tip my cap. And, good luck to Gary and Billy and Little Red Feather. But I think I got to take on the 7-5 shot in the nightcap.
And Chappie, thankfully, because he was correct about the price last week on our Moonlight, that marathon will be with the shirt on and not off.
Thank God.
So, shirt will be on. So
That's right.
It's going to be.
That's bonus coverage right there, let me tell you.
Safe for everybody. No doubt about it.
Skipper, what are your thoughts here? It looks like you got a price coming in the last.
You know how much I love Mondego. Mondego's my top pick. I love this horse. I'm not going to single, but I think this horse is really good. This horse could run all day long. McCarthy's got this horse right now. It's sharp. The last 2 races were good. The San Gabriel had trouble, ran good. The last time had a perfect trip and won. That was a great day. I loved it that day. It was a big day for me. I like it right back here. It came back and worked a couple times. I like the workout on the 8th. It was over the dirt. This horse doesn't look like he's moving that, well, because he's got that turfy action on the dirt. But, McCarthy knows what he's doing. And I think he, obviously they don't have grass work. But I think when sometimes they train on dirt, they get the stamina built up in them. You know what I mean? It's good for a turf horse rather than going to the Tapeta or whatever. Now, I'm not a trainer. What do I know? I'm just a degenerate gambler. So I don't know. But my sneaky horse here. So Mondego's going to be my top pick, and I'm going to hit the repeat button, singling this horse a few times. But my sneaky long shot is Watsonville. There's not a lot of speed in here.
Oh, there's not.
This horse will be on the lead, I think. I think Mike Smith is going to send this horse. I love the fact that they're taking the blinkers off. I say it all the time on the show, especially with the horse that's got some speed. This horse, I think it's going to get a great trip, and I'm just hoping Mike sends it from the get-go. I don't know if it can get the distance. I think it can, but if nobody goes with this horse and it's walking on the lead, and I've seen Mike Smith do this more than a few times, I think Watsonville 12-1 is a great long shot. And then the other horse I'm going to put on a couple tickets is Truly Quality. Mondego beat it on the square last time, but Truly Quality did have a little trouble to start, did come running late. Mondego galloped out in front. Mondego, I think, is better, but Jonathan Thomas, I mean, he wins every big grass race or every stakes race out here. So lots of 5s and then a couple 8s and 2s on my ticket. I'm tossing out Gold Phoenix. It was training really good going into the last race to San Marcos. And I was afraid of it because I tried to beat it with Mondego, but I did use it. And boy, it didn't run to how it was working. And I just think, maybe it's 8 years old, getting a little long in the tooth. I'm going to try to beat it. I see 7-5. Nothing in that last race, even it was kind of sitting in a 3-wide trip. Didn't get the best trips, but still, it just backed right out of there. Maybe it needed the race. I don't know. Hector Barrios does jump aboard. I'm not using it. I'm chucking it out. So 5s, 8s, and 2s for me.
582, Gino, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I really like Watsonville in here too. I mean, most people will probably be alive in some way, shape, or form if they are alive to 2, 4, and 5. I feel like that'll be logical. Those will be logical horses that people will be alive to. You can get another horse out of that trio. You can really get a little separation, and it'll be so nice if you're alive to have the horse that has to be in here to just be out front by a couple lengths. Like there's no other reason why he's in this race unless that's the trip they're going to try. Let him loose. Just open up 2 or 3 lengths on this field. We know every other horse in here. Almost everybody, the only one that's got a little bit of speed is Mondego. And that was back in his career. But he's even been in a couple spots recently where it didn't look like there was much speed on paper, and he still didn't get to the lead in those races. So I don't think they want him to go anymore. He might just be a better horse now coming from off the pace, especially going longer. That's fine. You want to have the 8 in the mix somewhere, especially if you have a horse that you like earlier on. This could be a fun 8-10 to 1 shot to try to close things out with a couple lengths on the field. He's going to go third start of the form cycle. He could be ready to take one more little step forward. He was chasing El Patente last time out in that race on paper. Remember, there was nobody else that could push El Patente, and he was the horse that was kind of having to try to do some of the dirty work in there. There just wasn't anybody else that could help. So this race with the outside draw, he's going to go. And then for me, if I had to pick, Truly Quality does have so much success at the 1.5 miles. To me, that kind of stands out at this distance, that this really is a good trip for him. And as Frank was mentioning, I thought his trip wasn't great last time out, so I could see him saving a lot of ground. And maybe last time was the time you wanted to have Mondego when he got you there at 9 to 1, and he ran really well at a big price. I'll probably do a lot of 2-8, little Mondego, little Gold Phoenix. But if I can get to 2 and 8 closing, I'll be pretty happy.
I was strictly 2-5 here with Frank, but I am going to zag a little bit, and just because they made such good case for Watsonville that I agree. There's no speed. I mean, so Frank, I thought you and I were going to close out with this tight bond, and I'm zagging away from you. I'm going to go.
Well, no, I'm throwing in the 8 now. These guys made an amazing. I might single the 8 after the case I just heard for Watsonville. I mean, it's true. It's Mike Smith. He's one of the best guys on the front end, right?
Yeah, he is.
I think of him as overly aggressive. That's all, right?
No,
he's not going to.
But he
make horses go.
Relax. Yeah,
right. He fits the 8 and the pace more than the ride I liked on True Quality last time. So you're right.
Yeah.
2-5-8.
This horse could be 5 lengths in front and going 49 and change, like going an easy gallop. I mean, he does have the running of the race. If you are a pace player, I mean, this is like a lone F potential. Seriously. Yeah. Again, Skip made a good point. Not sure the horse can get the distance, but if you're going that slow and no one's pressuring you, I mean, at 12 to 1, I mean, why not? Like, I don't know. So we're all zigging or we're all zagging, but we're all using 2-5-8 in some capacity.
Yeah. And the ultimate zig when we zag is that there's 2 D'Amatos and none of us are using him. And he wins every big race on the turf, it seems like. So that's the ultimate zig when we zag. What time do the Zags play tomorrow, Gino? And then wrap us up.
Yeah, Gonzaga. Well, that Chappie, that's a perfect tease for the Pick'em contest tomorrow. Yeah, right. Because Gonzaga is part of the Saturday Pick'em contest at Santa Anita, which you can play for free, pick'em.santanita.com. So if you've already filled out your brackets, maybe you had a bad Thursday or a bad Friday, don't worry about it, because on Saturday you can play in the contest, and a lot of the props are about the betting lines and the over-unders for the tournament games. We knew everybody would be watching the tournament games on Saturday, and the same will be on Sunday. So Gonzaga plays at 7 o'clock Eastern, 7:10, 4:10 Pacific time. You'll have plenty of time to get that game in. And then don't forget, last week was NHC. You want to qualify for NHC, you can do it tomorrow for $500 at ExpressBet. There's the Santa Anita Challenge. So get your seat for 2027 already. You know where you'll be next year for NHC if you do tomorrow. And DRF has a couple really cool promotions right now. If you're betting all of the Derby preps, they have a package called the Road to the Derby package. So you can get PPs for tomorrow at Turfway, tomorrow at Fairgrounds, next week at both of the places where there are Kentucky Derby preps, at Gulfstream and at Oaklawn. All of the Derby preps, the full cards, and then Kentucky Oaks Day, Kentucky Derby Day, Clocker reports, everything all together for like $100. You can save a bunch of money if you know you're going to be betting all those races. So check them out and go out to the track tomorrow and say hello to Chappie.
I like it. Well done. I don't even have to say anything more. I mean,
cheers.
That was it. You still got a little red in you. You're not quite the George Hamilton this week, Frank.
I know. I'm disappointed you. Sorry. I wasn't out in the sun at all this week. Been working too hard. All that NHC coverage, everything.
I was at the beach the other day, so I was trying to take over the George Hamilton look today. But anyways, so stay tuned tomorrow. By the way, the pick'em is we got a little extra dough in there too, Gino, because of the NCAA.
Yeah, so extra cash for tomorrow and Sunday. Pick'em.santanita.com. Totally free to enter and see if you can win. That's the best way to build your bankroll when nothing's coming out of the bankroll and you're only adding to it. It's very nice when that's the one way you're going. So good luck tomorrow. This is a great sports period right now where we have so much action, Derby preps next few weeks. So good luck to everyone. Hope you all have a great Saturday.
Absolutely.
Can I just say one last thing? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I know the focus of the show is on the late pick 5, and that's fantastic. But, if you get knocked out and you want to come back and you want player-friendly bets, we've got the $3 late pick 3 low takeout, the $5 late double. Those bets are great value for players. They're 15% low takeout, and the payout is always an overlay. It always pays more than the equivalent parlay. Double Trouble Live is the show that I do with my partner, Kieran, who also has a piece of Gold Phoenix, so good luck to him. We will be back on air on Sunday to cover the $3 all turf, the $3 late pick 3, and the $5 late double, DoubleTroubleLive.com.
I love it. You can catch us on the Morning Line Sports Show in the morning, Skip and I, and then we will see you all again next Friday. So tomorrow, good luck, everybody. We will zig, and then we'll watch the zags.
There you
we'll
go.
See you next week.
Good luck.